This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on the South Today, police begin body retrieval after a couple was killed in a South Dunedin house fire. New Zealand joins the world spacefaring nations with the successful launch of the Rocket Lab space vehicle. And could better education help solve Queenstown's freedom camping problem? Kia ora, good evening, I'm Melissa Barton. Neighbours and friends of two people who died in a fire in South Dunedin say there were no working alarms in the property. Police and Fire and Emergency New Zealand have begun the process of removing the bodies of the couple who died in a fire on Wesley Street yesterday morning.
Flowers have been placed outside a Wesley Street property where two people died in a fire yesterday. Police and emergency services were removing the bodies this afternoon, but the cause of the fire remains unknown. I'm Roselle LeBone here again today at the scene of the tragic fire which occurred yesterday and claimed 2 lives. The street behind me where the event occurred, Wesley Street, has been cordoned off. Police have just spoken to us and told us that they have begun the process of recovering the bodies. A gentleman just passed by recently in a car who said that he had known one of the victims for over 40 years. He says that there were no working smoke alarms at the property when the event happened, and there was only one way in and one way out of the property. Friend Liz Banbury says she knew both the victims and there were no working smoke alarms in the property.
There's not a lot of room, there's a wee tiny lounge, and where it looks like most of the smoke and flames had come from was where their bedroom is. But you know, he'd take his head off to you. I mean, it's just a shock. And, yeah, it's just terrible.
All landlords are legally obliged to provide working smoke alarms for tenants. Fire investigator Mark Bredenbeck told Allied Press the front flat had a working smoke alarm, but he could not determine yesterday whether the back flat had one too. A rate search of the property reveals the owners are David and Marilyn Richardson of Waitati. They were unable to be reached for comment today. A post-mortem will be conducted tomorrow. The names of the deceased cannot be released until formal identification is complete. Roselle LeBone, The South Today.
Dunedin-based Health Minister David Clark announced the terms of reference for a mental health inquiry at Parliament this afternoon. During the address, Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern paid tribute to the people who work in the mental health sector. The Prime Minister put a deadline of October this year. Ms Ardern says she will be in Dunedin this Friday. Dr David Clark says the previous government's work in mental health was woefully inadequate. New Zealand joined the world's spacefaring nations on Sunday when Rocket Lab successfully launched its first space vehicle into orbit. And right in the centre of Invercargill, a small team was helping to ensure the launch was a success. Sharon Rees has more.
This was the sight from the Mahia Peninsula as Rocket Lab successfully launched its first rocket into orbit on Sunday. And while the view wasn't quite as exciting from Invercargill, Venture Southland's Head of Engineering, Robin McNeil, was thrilled all the same. A ground station installed in November at Venture Southland tracked and monitored the launch and was the first confirmation the rocket had made a full orbit.
I was keeping an eye on the equipment itself, and I could see the elevations and azimuth of the position where the antenna was pointing, and that was telling me that it was all doing what it was supposed to be doing. So that was quite a good feeling.
At the helm of the rocket launch was Southland-born Peter Beck, who founded Rocket Lab, and McNeil, who has worked with Beck in the past, said it helped knowing and trusting people behind the project.
When Pete was first starting off, and we were first starting off down at Awarua, you know, we were able to help each other a bit, and so in fact he introduced us to our first customers after the European Space Agency, and so yeah, we've got a bit of a debt to him there, which I'd like to think maybe we've balanced out a little bit now.
The Southern Astronomical Society, founded by Beck's father Russell Beck, kept a close eye on the launch, and Vice President Mike Bailey says having a Southlander behind the launch could encourage other Southlanders to start looking skyward.
It really does put us on the world stage, and it shows us that our number 8 Y mentality sometimes can actually really work, and it's just really positive, and we're hoping that it might have a bit of an impact for those wanting to look to the skies.
McNeil says the launch is just the start of what will be an exciting year for the space industry. He said there are some big space-related projects coming to Southland in the near future, but as is the norm for these types of things, if he told me what they were, he'd have to kill me. I'm Sharon Rees for The South Today.
A Dunedin flat which had a balcony collapse now has a new balcony attached without the City Council's consent. In March 2016, a balcony collapsed in a Castle Street complex, causing injury to 18 students, 2 of which were seriously harmed. Last month, the council learned that a new balcony has been built in its place, but this one lacks proper consent. The company owning the flat, which lists Richard McKnight as a shareholder, has been instructed the building can only be occupied if the balcony is made inaccessible. Sustainable Queenstown founder and resident Esther Whitehead says better education would help solve the town's freedom camping problem. She wants the focus to be on tourists taking responsibility and has a plan to achieve that. Mina Amso reports.
Queenstown resident Esther Whitehead says there are many solutions to the problem caused by freedom campers in the resort town, but education is central to them all.
Their number one tool would be education for our visitors, which is clearly looking at a longer term strategy.
Whitehead is the founder of Sustainable Queenstown and is working on a nationwide project called the Kiwi Pledge, which she hopes will change a responsible freedom camping culture.
In the nationwide project is creating a digital platform that every visitor is actually engaging with, so that people can understand what is expected of them. It's all well and good saying we're just going to ban it, but we might be able to ban it in a localised area. But what happens is that all of these people that are visiting here today will just go somewhere else.
The project, organised by a number of major players in tourism such as Tourism Holdings, is based on the Icelandic Pledge, which was launched in June last year.
It's about putting responsibility back with the tourist. I think currently our tourists don't see that it's their responsibility.
It would be an online agreement where tourists can sign and promise to respect nature while travelling in New Zealand. The current 8-point pledge encourages tourists to experience Iceland the way that Icelanders do, by agreeing to a set of guidelines. These include directives such as, when exploring new places, leave them as they are, take photos without dying for them, and to never venture off-road, to adhere to allocated campsites when sleeping under the stars, and when nature calls, not to answer the call on nature. On signing, people get a certificate they can share on social media with the hashtag Icelandic Pledge. Whitehead says New Zealand's reputation for its freedom camping needs to change.
We need to shape that in a different direction so that our expectations as a host destination are very, very clear.
She says there's also a need for car rental companies to take some responsibility for the problem.
As part of the project around sustainable tourism, it's about getting big players on board. So Tourism Holdings, Ngā Tahu, Real Journeys.
The Kiwi Pledge project is expected to launch in June this year. Mina Amso, The South Today.
Still to come on The South Today, scientists embrace the chance to study the body of a leopard seal that died near Dunedin last year, and we see what it's like to breakfast like royalty with the first royal albatross chick of the season.
For all your news from the southern regions as it happens, go to our Facebook page. The South Today, connecting you with your community thanks to New Zealand On Air.
The part of the family, And like us, their health begins with what they eat too. So give them Radical Dog, made in New Zealand from all natural ingredients and real tart cherries, so it's high in antioxidants. It's a 3-in-1 superfood, giving them energy, flexibility and a healthy coat. With no fillers or nasty preservatives, they love them. It's the treat that can work wonders on every dog, no matter what their breed, age or health. Radical Dog, the new generation in dog food.
While you're relaxing this holiday season, Ready Lawn is available to help you with your lawn needs, big or small. We work so you don't have to. Call Ready Lawn today.
Gillian's Care. They care for loved ones, families, friends and our community. At a time of bereavement, care and support makes all the difference, and Gillians know this. They're here for you when you need it most. From advanced funeral planning to a service for your loved one, Gillians will guide and assist you with your individual choices. Their legendary attention to detail and passion to get it right are second to none. Gillians, caring for families in our communities since 1962.
Hi, I'm Dennis Charlotte, and road racing motorcycles is my lifetime passion. It's a massive adrenaline rush, but the high-speed crashes have been tough on the body over the years. I almost feel as old as my mate Ian.
Sportsval, supporting tendons, ligaments and cartilage. And Energy Plus helps replace the energy that everyday living takes away.
Now I feel more alive and have more sustained energy to really enjoy my racing.
Buy 2 packs of Sportsval and get 2 packs of Energy Plus absolutely free. So call now, 0800 502 402.
Oh, help! Don't suffer in silence. Call Sunny Chin, Chi Master Body Technician, for structural, muscular, emotional bodywork. Phone 03 4250 606 for all your pain relief.
For 3 generations, the Kilpatrick family have ensured Jimmy's pies are still world famous in the South Island. Made to an old family recipe, Jimmy's pies have been one of New Zealand's traditional takeaway foods, prepared daily on the premises alongside a range of savouries, sausage rolls and cakes. Jimmy's pies are distributed throughout the lower South Island. Jimmy's pies are sure to satisfy your travelling munchies.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
The University of Otago, New Zealand's only true collegiate university. For first-year students, the history, the expectations of excellence are
unfamiliar.
G'day, I'm next door.
Hi, next door. I'm Samantha Pascoe.
No, you're not. I'm Josh, Clyde, Science. And you are?
Sam, Hastings, Law and Arts.
Tane, Auckland, Commerce. Osaka, Greece, Classics. History.
Otago Superheroes, the 2018 Relay for Life needs your team. On March 17 and 18, the relay teams will join together to create one of the most inspiring events, helping not only to raise funds but also to remember those who have fallen to cancer or are struggling with it. To register your team, simply go to the website and sign on, then start fundraising. It's about celebrating, remembering and fighting back. Be a superhero and register now at relayforlife.org.nz.
Welcome back. Scientists have embraced the chance to study the body of a leopard seal that died near Dunedin last year. Rudy Adrian met up with the researchers at the Invermay Research Centre.
This leopard seal pup died shortly after birth on a Dunedin beach last September. Its appearance attracted the attention of Emma Burns from the Otago Museum.
Well, it's not often that a pup just sort of presents itself from Antarctica on the city's beach, so it was a kind of a quick conversation with local research groups to get it scanned with permission for Doc and a local iwi at Turunga Tako as well. So, yeah, good opportunity to get it scanned and find out more information about its internal bits and pieces.
Researchers are still extensively studying the pup, and yesterday saw them taking a cast of its mouth.
So basically it's only a day-old pup, so you can't see any of the teeth erupted, but what will happen as the specimen's preserved is that that soft tissue will disappear, so it's a really good opportunity to have a look at what this animal, which is an apex predator, its mouth is like at birth.
The plan is to use the pup's skin to create a lifelike taxidermy model for the museum. Peter Wells specialises in mounting native animals for New Zealand's museums, and he was on hand to see what the leopard seal pup looks like before he is given the skin to remodel into a lifelike animal.
It's in pretty good condition, yeah. There's no decay, dealing with all the original parts, so should be good.
Leopard seal researcher Krista Hupman thinks that leopard seals could well be a species we will see more of in the future.
Leopard seals are a solitary animal and you don't often see them with any other species, but we do have records back to the 1400s of leopard seals in Maori middens in New Zealand. We do have one other birth record in New Zealand, so this makes the second, and we have some individuals that stay here for up to 5 years, so it is actually something that we're looking into to be able to try and determine, are they actually a native species of New Zealand, and is it that just we haven't been recording them enough to be able to find out more information about them.
Hupman would like the public to use a hotline to help track the presence of leopard seals around New Zealand.
Leopard seal sightings are increasing around New Zealand, and the only way we're able to build our national database is by people letting us know. So we have a dedicated hotline which is 0800 Leopard. We encourage anyone to report any leopard seal sightings to us so we can further our research.
The leopard seal pup should be ready for display at the Otago Museum by the middle of this year. Rudy Adrian, The South Today.
A course in avian parenting was on display for the world to see this morning as the first royal albatross chick received breakfast from its mother. The hatching of the first chick of the breeding season at the Royal Albatross Colony at Taiaroa Head yesterday was a very special moment. Otago Peninsula Trust Marketing Manager Sophie Barker says the chick's arrival is a wonderful relief. She says it's a very special moment for everybody who loves albatrosses. It would now be interesting to see how many more chicks would hatch from 32 nests dotted around the nature reserve before mid to late next month in the 2017 and 2018 breeding season. Members of the Riverton Lions Club rolled up their sleeves in the name of charity today. Both club members and friends gathered in Woodlands for the 11th annual Sheep Shearing for Charity event. Sharon Rees has more.
Some were sheep shearing veterans and some were just learning the ropes. But everyone here was in it for a good cause. The Riverton Lions Club invited these volunteers to get through as many sheep as possible to raise funds for the club and the community.
Over the last number of years we've supported hospice, our local swimming baths, type 1 diabetes research, you name it, pretty much Lions support it. And a lot of our local community help as well, so it's quite a significant fundraiser for us, to be fair, yeah.
At 6 a.m, 1,500 sheep waited to be shorn, and by 9:30 the volunteers had made their way through nearly half of them. The wool collected was then put into bales and will be sold to raise funds for the club. Matheson said it was a good social event for the community and a way of getting people together from all walks of life.
There's a number of young fellas here learning, we're getting a few pointers. There's a number of old veterans, I suppose I just about classify myself as one of those guys, that have been shearers and are no longer shearers. And there's a number of farmers that do a wee bit of shearing of their own sheep that come along and help as well. And then we have quite a number of people, rousing, and the ladies that do the catering for the day as well.
The wool bales were quickly filling up as the day went on, but organisers believed the work would carry on well into the afternoon. And by then, there may be some exhausted shearers, but some much cooler sheep. Sharon Rees, The South Today.
After the break on The South Today, the final game in the Pulse Energy Highlanders home series for 2018 is confirmed. And if you decide if a visiting British comedian made an off-colour joke about earthquakes.
Hi, I'm Dennis Charlotte, and road racing motorcycles is my lifetime passion. It's a massive adrenaline rush, but the high-speed crashes have been tough on the body over the years. I almost felt as old as my mate Ian.
Sportsval, supporting tendons, ligaments and cartilage. And Energy Plus helps replace the energy that everyday living takes away.
Now I feel more alive and have more sustained energy to really enjoy my racing.
Buy 2 packs of Sportsval and get 2 packs of Energy Plus absolutely free. So call now, 0800 502 402.
Here is this week's Mole Map UV report. Did you know New Zealanders have the highest incidence rate of melanoma in the world?
If you've ever been on a sunbed or been badly sunburnt, what are the chances you could have melanoma? Remove the doubt. Get a mole map.
At the Hard to Find Bookshop, we sell quality books on all subjects from the rare to the recent, and where viable, we will come to you. We have a great reputation for integrity and honesty, so if you're downsizing or sorting an estate and have books to sell, contact us.
135 Cumberland Street is a brand new, recently listed Category 1 heritage building right in Dunedin's warehouse precinct. Only a short walk to the Octagon in the central city. These are warm, well-insulated, self-contained apartments with all you need for a short or long stay. With beautiful views onto the harbour, these Airbnbs at 135 Cumberland Street come highly recommended for your stay in Dunedin.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
While you're relaxing this holiday season, Ready Lawn is available to help you with your lawn needs, big or small. We work so you don't have to. Call Ready Lawn today.
Helping New Zealanders to do more. Talk to MTF today.
Don't suffer in silence. Call Sunny Chin, Chi Master Body Technician for structural, muscular, emotional bodywork. Phone 03 4250 606 for all your pain relief.
Thanks for staying with us. The final game in the Pulse Energy Highlanders home series for 2018 has been confirmed. The Highlanders will play a game in Suva, Fiji against the Chiefs on the 30th of June 2018. Both the Chiefs and Crusaders have participated in games there over the last 2 years, as well as the Blues staging a game in Samoa last year. The games are generally viewed as a way of supporting and growing the game in the Pacific Islands. The Dunedin City Council will ban vehicles from the Dunedin railway station forecourt for a trial period later this week. It's hoped the change will improve pedestrian safety as well as improving the view of the station for tourists taking photographs.
The Dunedin City Council will trial pedestrian-only zones at the Dunedin railway station for 4 days from Thursday. The idea is to improve the safety of pedestrians using the railway station forecourt in large numbers at the moment, and it's expected the absence of vehicles, particularly large tour buses, will give tourists a better chance of a good shot of the second most photographed building in the Southern Hemisphere. Council Transportation Team Leader Jan Poulsen says the trial has been a long time coming.
We're getting a lot of reports of near misses, and we're seeing it every day almost as well, especially with tourists spilling out of the buses. Luckily we haven't had any reported crashes, injury crashes or anything like that.
Council Transport Group Manager Richard Saunders says the trial will test the area's suitability as a permanently vehicle-free zone. Depending on public feedback, the change may become permanent by the middle of the year.
The feedback we've had has been really good. It's something that people have been waiting for a long time. They're looking forward to it. And the feedback we've had from the bus companies has been really good as well.
The temporary closure will be from this Thursday until Sunday. Roselle LeBone, The South Today.
International loudmouth comedian Jimmy Carr entertained an audience in Dunedin last night. However, his jibe about the southern city needing an earthquake to look better fell flat with some on social media. Roselle LeBone took to the streets to find out if anyone got the joke.
Went to Napier, destroyed by an earthquake. Rebuilt, beautiful town. Went to Christchurch, destroyed by an earthquake. Beautiful town. Now I'm in Dunedin. I'll tell you what this town needs.
Dunedin's already a beautiful city. Oh, he's a comedian, so I guess it's all in good faith, really, isn't it?
I think it's fun. You just got to take it with a grain of salt. It's just a bit of laugh. He's a comedian. You got to expect it.
I don't put much store by Jimmy Carr or what other people have to say about Dunedin.
Well, because of everything that other people have gone through in Christchurch, and just the emotional trauma that people have gone through, and just to sort of wish that kind of experience on other people in New Zealand is quite sad. No!
That's great.
Oh, Jimmy!
So obviously that went down well with you guys. What do you like about the joke?
Because he's hilarious.
Yeah. Good old Jimmy.
Jimmy?
Yeah. Jimmy.
Some people are saying you went too far on social media.
No, it's only a joke. You can't take it too hard. Yeah.
And now look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome, Barry Stewart. What have you got for us
Hello,
in tomorrow's
Melissa.
paper?
Well, hot, dry conditions. There's one recipe for that, and that's fires. There's lots of them around. We had Tiwai Point last night, and we're monitoring that, or wrapping up that today. Hopefully that's all completed and under control. But we have a big fire at Jacks Point in Queenstown, so we're monitoring that and seeing what develops there. So yes, lots of fires, and
not the best.
Clearly testing the resource of the fire service, so we'll talk to them about that as well. As mentioned, the Highlanders are heading to Fiji, and of course Invercargill misses out on a home match this season, but in the Super Rugby competition they may get a game in June, and all is not lost. They are promised a big match next year, so not all is lost there as far as Invercargill goes. Barriers are going up in the next month for the cycleway in Dunedin, so along the highway, so developments are happening there, so we'll have a story on that.
Wonderful, and we'll catch all that in tomorrow's ODT.
Yep,
thank you very much, Barry. And now time for a look at what's in tomorrow's weather.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by Silverhorn Sportsville.
Today's southern view is of tourists photographing the Dunedin railway station. Looking at the situation, a weak front will die out over the southern Southland tomorrow, and elsewhere a mild to warm day is expected with sunny periods and some cloud. An anticyclone moves slowly across New Zealand, continuing to bring fine weather to southern districts. Looking at what's in store down south, Balclutha, Catlins, Gore and Lumsden can expect light southwesterlies, a risk of showers in 18 degrees. Moving westward to central, Alexandra and Wanaka in for light northerlies, some high cloud and 27, Queenstown similar with 26, and Te Anau can look forward to becoming fine with light southwesterlies and 17. Up to the northern towns, everyone here can expect some light easterlies, some cloud, with Oamaru at 25, Oamaru and Twizel at 28, and Timaru sweltering at 29. Dunedin tonight can anticipate some cloud developing with an overnight low of 17. Tomorrow fine with high cloud and mild temperatures 22 and 15, and sunny periods and some cloud on Thursday, some rain at night 22 and 15. Further south in Invercargill tonight, some showers with a cool southwesterly change and an overnight low of 12. Tomorrow sees showers clearing and cloud breaking through in the afternoon tomorrow, 17 and 11, and becoming fine and sunny on Thursday with light winds 17 and 9. And that's our news for this Tuesday. For the latest news from the Southern region, you can follow us on Facebook and at channel39.co.nz. I hope you all have a great evening. Take care. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.